What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And Joaquin Buckley just beat Colby Covington by third round TKO in the main event of UFC Tampa, which overall was a very fun card, one of the better fight night cards of the year, with a bunch of cool finishes, KOs, fights, a great fight with the co-main event, and yeah, highlight reels, prospects performing well, couple upsets as well, and some aura gaining performances from some flyweights named Manel Kape. But I'll recap the card pretty quickly because I got somewhere to be. And we're going to start off with the main event, of course. Colby Covington got smoked by Buckley. I wanted Buckley to just fucking lay him out and smoke him easily. But unfortunately, that was not to be. We ended up getting a cut TKO because this fight was all Buckley. Let's be honest. Colby looked pretty mid. But I'm just going to say, like, Colby looked pretty similar to how he usually looks. Just decent wrestling. Like, what about Colby was washed here in terms of, like, if someone's saying, like, oh, this version of Colby would beat Buckley, I want to know what you think this version of Colby would have done. Like, shot better takedowns? Like, you don't normally lose your ability to take people down when you're washed. Like, the washed part is, like, not having a good chin, not being as fast. So you could maybe say Colby wasn't as quick as normal. Maybe the cardio wasn't as good. He wasn't quite as, like, pressuring and relentless as normal. But I thought this was still a pretty bog standard version of Colby. I've never thought Colby was like that amazing. I just thought he's fought pretty good stylistic matchups for himself, and Buckley is a terrible stylistic matchup. Someone with the strength to stuff the takedown, punish him on the feet, and Colby doesn't have the power coming back his way to actually do anything to Buckley on the feet. So I picked Buckley with confidence. I actually did pick him by round 3 TKO. I said ground and pound, obviously ended up getting a cut stoppage. Cut was pretty nasty. You could have left it keep going because I kind of did want to see Colby get laid unconscious. But great win for Buckley, and a great, I mean, in the first round, he just beat him up. Second round, a little bit less beating up. He stuffed a lot of the takedowns, and he stuffed them with authority. Like, he stuffed that shit, and then pushed Colby's head into the fucking mat. Colby rolled to his back, and Buckley stood up. Or, like, Buckley would punch Colby as he would be getting back up. Like, Buckley made it a mission to punish Colby Covington in this fight, which I enjoyed very much. And yeah, 4-0 in 2024. Joaquin Buckley is a top 5 fighter of the year by no doubt. It's Ilya and Pereira above him, and you can say Marab or Pantoja or Dricus maybe, but I think 4 wins, the way he's done it, he deserves a mention for sure. What else happened? I'm not going to really, can't be fucked mentioning anything else about the fight. Colby just looked kind of mid the whole time. He did get takedowns. Buckley stood back up though. There was no moment where you're like, damn, Colby's really winning this, he's turning this around. So it was pretty one-way traffic from Joaquin Buckley. And then the post-fight interview was also a really good moment as well, where he said to the fans, sorry for not getting the KO, but I'm going to let you guys choose my next fight. And he gave him 3 options. He gave him Leon Edwards, who got booed. He gave him Kamaru Usman, who got cheers, and he asked Bilal Muhammad, who got probably the same amount of cheers. But he ended up saying, I reckon Usman's the fight. Let's go Usman. And that's a great call out. I think Usman's going to be fighting JDM in Perth. Like, that is the rumor that is going around. So if Leon doesn't have an opponent for London, they could easily do that fight. If Usman isn't fighting JDM though, Usman versus Buckley makes sense because Usman needs to fucking take a fight, to be honest. But great win for Buckley, great performance against the Colby, who didn't look amazing, but I still think Buckley wins that fight 9 out of 10 times against most versions of Colby, because I just think he's a difficult stylistic matchup for him in general. Anyway, let's move on though to the co-main event. In the co-main event, we had a nasty KO after a sick back and forth fight between Swanson and Billy Quarantillo, where I did pick Billy Q. I thought he was going to kind of just win a very good, scrappy fight in a decision, which he was looking like he could have done. He was a big favourite on the live odds before the KO, but Swanson landed a massive shot and just slumped him out cold. We saw multiple, like, unconscious fucking out cold KOs, which was pretty fun. But yeah, great fight. Overall, they were just scrapping back and forth, and then great KO in the end. Tough for Billy Q. Came back after a bit of a layoff after not the best performance. He might, I don't think they'll cut him, but he is on a bit of a loss streak, so he does definitely need to win his next fight if he gets kept around. But Cub looked good. He would come out hot at the start of the rounds, then Billy Q would kind of put it on him a bit later on in the round. But overall, I thought it was 1-1 going into the third, and then Cub ends up ending it, not requiring the judges. But anyway, let's move on though to the next next fight. Next up, we had Manel Kape gain back his aura with an incredible performance against Bruno Silva, where he got nutshotted about 4 fucking times, badly. He ended up getting a point taken, Bruno Silva that is, but Kape styled on him this whole fight. This was all Manel Kape, this was speed, this was precision, this was aura from Manel Kape, who was fucking emoting mid-fight and ended up getting a TKO in the 3rd round after hurting him to the body. Potential nutshot, but who cares, it's karma. It got him back, in my opinion. But yeah, Manel Kape looked good, called, he said, I know we are on ESPN, but I'm not going to say bad words, but fuck Caca de France, fuck Israel. Great call out from Kape. Said he wants the title shot. You're not getting the title shot, you're coming off a loss. If Kape can fight like that consistently though, he's up there. But I say you do a rematch with not a rematch, sorry. You settle the beef with Caca France, do that fight for the number 1 contender, and in the meantime, you do Pantoja versus Figgy. That's what they should do, and then you can just trilogy Moreno Royval, who gives a fuck. But great performance from Kape, great mic work, and yeah, aura has been gained back. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we had a performance from Dustin Jacobe in a fight where he was potentially down 2-0, maybe 1-1, and then another random 3rd round flatline KO where he slumped Vitor Petrino out cold with a right hand. Crazy finish for Dustin Jacobe, crazy performance, I guess. He was looking mid. Vitor was looking mid too. It wasn't like a crazy comeback. It was kind of a back and forth, nothing fight, and then just bang, slumped him out cold on the canvas, asleep. Vitor Petrino losing back-to-back fights by finish to Anthony Smith and Dustin Jacobe. Awful year for him. After actually winning his first fight of the year and being considered a prospect, bro went into this year undefeated and is ending the year on a 2-fight loss streak outside the rankings to bums. But great finish for Jacobe. Definitely gets a bonus. I think he got... Bro, I'm going to say Jacobe and Michael Johnson got bonuses, and then fight tonight to Cub Swanson, Billy Quarantillo. Stingy ass company. Can you not give bonuses to every finish? Like Joel Alvarez and Manel Kape, even Buckley could have, and Woodson as well. None of them got bonuses. Just 2 fucking performance bonuses. Stingy ass company. Anyway, good performance for Jacobe. Let's move on though to the next fight. Up on the card, we had Adrian Yanez he lost to Daniel Marcos by split decision. I thought Marcos won the fight pretty clearly. I picked him to win by decision or TKO based on Yanez just not taking shots very well. And he definitely did hurt Yanez at moments in this fight. Yanez looked good in the second, but Marcos just looked a weight class bigger than him, to be honest. Like, Yanez looked like a flyweight, or Marcos just looked like a fucking featherweight, because Marcos looked huge. Was way bigger than him, was able to use his reach effectively. Yanez just looked mid, and it's a far fucking cry from the dude who people considered a prospect and were favouring to beat Rob Font. Which is crazy to think back to a time when Yanez was in the lead up to a fight with Rob Font and was considered like one of the best prospects at bantamweight, and people thought he was going to win that fight comfortably. But yeah, Marcos did well, got the takedowns in the 3rd round to secure it. Ended up, I said on fucking stream, I'm like, there's going to be a split decision for sure. And sure enough, split decision. Someone had it 30-27 Marcos, someone had it 29-28 Yanez. I think both of those cards were wrong. But I did say 30-27 Marcos was not indefensible. But good win for Daniel Marcos. Another win. Remains undefeated, potentially a ranked opponent next. I wouldn't mind him getting a ranked opponent. He's beat Davey Grant, he's beat John Castaneda, beat Adrian Yanez. Those are all solid opponents, so ranked opponent for Marcos next, I wouldn't mind it. Anyway, let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, we had Navajo Sterling, who was an undefeated prospect coming into this fight. He remains undefeated, but he was expected to kind of get the KO, but it is a good reminder to people that you shouldn't be confident on guys making their debuts who are 5-0 to just run through people. Like, he won cleanly. It was an easy decision for him, 30-27. But, like, there were moments where he was looking mid. I was like, oh, we about to see a fucking fraud check, because he started getting taken down a bit. Started looking not as fresh on the feet. Looked a bit tired. Tukos was taking him down. Tarkos, whatever the fuck his name is. Bearded dude. Looks like the average fucking corner store owner. Fat Helwani is what this dude looks like, I swear. But, anyway, he did okay at moments, but he was just a punching bag in there. He would just fucking like nod and like shake his head and shit when he got hit. It's like, bro, you're getting tuned up. Like, you can't just sit there and like, didn't land, bro. So ultimately, Sterling won clearly, but it wasn't the best performance, and definitely a reminder for people to stop betting money on KO props for guys making their debuts who are unproven and haven't fought anyone good. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on though to the prelims. Next up, Michael Johnson slept Ottoman Azaitar out cold. Fuck this little potato smuggling Moroccan. Slumped him out cold. MJ season. He's winning the belt. Trust this dude's going to be a top 5 fighter. No. But he did do well, and I did predict him to win by round 2 KO. Sure enough, against Ottoman Azaitar. So I was pretty on the money with the prediction there. He just slept him. Like, Azaitar's shit. I've never considered him good. I said in my prediction video he's not good. He has no fucking basis to, like, actually be, like, considered good. And MJ will KO him because MJ actually has hands and is quick. He just has a rough chin. But he looked great in this fight. And we got mythical fucking Michael Johnson, who actually looks decent randomly, and you're like, hang on, isn't Unk meant to be like 40 years old? I'm doing an Unk's tier list, because that'll be a funny video. So yeah, drop some names that you want to see featured in that. But yeah, good win for MJ, slumped him out cold, got a bonus as well for his troubles. Anyway, let's move on though to the next fight. Alright, next up we got Joel Alvarez, who smoked and put Jacobe close in a bag in about 3 minutes flat. This was one of the most impressive performances on the card, in my opinion. Besides, I'd say, Kape. In terms of like how they looked, Buckley's performance was very impressive. But in terms like the pure KO, this wasn't quite the level of like the Jacobe KO or the Michael Johnson KO or the Swanson KO. But the all-round performance of just like about 3 minutes of no struggle, really. He got taken down once by Jacobe, got back up pretty comfortably, and then on the feet lands a nasty combination, flying knee. Jacobe falls into a fucking guillotine. I thought he was just going to choke him and like drop him on the fucking ground and have like a Jones Machida sort of moment. But yeah, he landed a flying knee, KO'd Jacobe, and then like had one arm under the neck and was just punching this dude in the face until he's like the ref realized, hang on, this guy's out cold. So it was a KO win for Jacobe, or for Joel Alvarez, I should say. I'm just going to say, people been saying Glaze. I had this dude as, I did a video for my top 15 best unranked fighters in the UFC. And I put this dude as the best unranked fighter in the UFC. And I put Prates at number 2, I believe. Or I might have put Gene Silva. But I think I put him and Prates were 2 of the top 3, if not top 2. And I got a lot of Glaze comments. I got a lot of, you got no basis for this. Imagine glazing all these guys with no reason. And I told them, I'm like, just wait. Joel Alvarez is going to be a fucking top 5, top 10 fighter. Top 10 minimum. I'm going to be predicting him to be a top 10 fighter by next year if he gets the opportunity. And Joel Alvarez, I'm telling you, bro, this guy's good. People been saying Glaze and shit. Like, I feel like people... It's a common thing with MMA fans is if they don't get on the hype train quick enough. Like, Alvarez has been around the UFC for a minute. Like, it's not like he debuted this year. But, like, if people don't get on the train quick enough, or if they don't start sort of supporting one fighter, and then that fighter starts to actually, like, prove to be good, then they always... Or they'll, like, at the start of the run, they'll be like, nah, this dude's mid. Or they'll be like, nah, this dude's overrated. And then once the person actually starts to become good... then they're like, oh fuck, well I can't jump on now, so I'm just gonna shit on them and say, no, they suck, bro. It's a thing that happens a lot with MMA fans, and it's similar with the Prates Glaze as well. Is people be like, bro, Prates sucks, man. I'm like, does he suck, or are you just salty that you weren't glazing this dude since his debut, and you said he was mid, and now you're worried that he's not actually mid? So that's something I've been getting a lot of with a lot of fans, is trying to fucking act like there isn't warranted fucking support for this guy and warranted credit for smoking Jacobe close in a round. Like, Jacobe close got KO'd by Beneil, but apart from that, like, Beneil like almost was out of there as well. Like, Jacobe almost finished Beneil. Joel Alvarez back-to-back has just had flawless performances against Brenner and Jacobe. Like, I know those aren't elite fighters, but those are solid fighters. Like, Brenner gave a tough fight to Worldby. Brenner beat Garam, and Joel Alvarez tuned up and ran through Brenner and then just smoked Jacobe in a round. So I think this dude should be ranked for sure. This guy, the UFC have Grant Dawson ranked. He should be ranked above fucking Grant Dawson for beating, who did he beat? Rafa Garcia. Jacobe and Alvarez Brenner are better wins than Joe Solecki and Rafa Garcia. I'm going to just say that. But anyway, great win for Joel Alvarez. He should get a ranked opponent next. I'm sick of calling for the Jalen Turner fight because they just ain't going to do it. It's like the lightweight version of fucking Rosenstrike versus Derek Lewis at heavyweight. It's just a fight that everyone knows should happen, but they just never fucking book it. So yeah, do that fight, but if not, I don't know, do like a Fiziev matchup or something, or do a Paddy Pimblett fight or something, or not Paddy, do a like a BSD fight or something. He would kill BSD. But yeah, Joel Alvarez, top 5 incoming 2025 or 2026. He will be a future contender. Moving on though to the next fight. Next up, we got Sean Woodson against Fernando Padilla. I don't know why the fuck I picked Padilla, gay-looking Mexican dude, fucking weird-looking bloke. I don't know why I picked him. I thought he had finishing potential over Woodson, and he looked okay early. Like, he came out with some output, looked like he could pressure him, because I'm like, Woodson backs up a bit. His output isn't amazing for, like, and he also is a bit clumsy with his reach. Like, his arms are so long that he doesn't really know how to fucking use them properly. And yeah, Padilla looked okay early, but turned out cannot take leg kicks. He got fucking rocked by a leg kick. Like, this dude got chinned by a fucking leg kick. Like, I don't know what the fuck Padilla was doing. No striking defense at all. Looked shit. Got KO'd at the end of the first. Definitely my worst pick of the night. Anyway, moving on, though, to the next fight. Felipe Lima. This dude is a prospect to watch out, featherweight/bantamweight, whichever division he decides to go to. I hope he moves down. I think he'll have a lot more success at bantamweight, just because I think he's very good. But at featherweight, like, you're gonna run into just guys who are big, like too big for you, and can just out physicality you even if you're better. Like, you're gonna run into a fucking Aljamain Sterling and just get backed in like 2 years. Like, he's young right now, he's got time to develop, but I think the unranked section of bantamweight is much more likely, or much less likely I should say, for him to get randomly fluke fraud checked via size and strength, getting out strengthed. Like, if this dude fights like a fucking, or random KO power as well. Like, if this dude fights like a fucking Dan Ige, there's a worry that he just randomly gets chinned, even though I think he's better than Dan Ige. And I know that seems crazy to say. Maybe not right now, but like in a fight or two. I think he, not ranked opponent next, he could beat him. But I think another unranked opponent, I say a Nate Landwehr if you fight at featherweight. And then if you go down to bantamweight, you can fight like an Adrian Yanez. Someone around your sort of like experience level, I guess, a Yanez. Bit more experience on the Yanez side, but this dude's really good. Like, he's 26, turning 27 in May. He's got a future. I'm telling you, this dude is one of the better prospects in the lighter weight classes. He beat Naimov in his debut. I didn't know who he was. I didn't pick him in that fight, but I saw that the odds were close, and I was like, this dude's good. He must be solid. But I'm like, I just can't pick someone without any UFC experience unless they're like a generational fucking prospect. But he beat Naimov, and I was on the train after that. So Felipe Lima, 2025, making a run towards the top end, or the bottom end, I should say, of the rankings, I reckon, with wins over. Maybe if he stays at featherweight, maybe he doesn't want to cut the weight. Maybe he's like, fuck it, let me just stay at featherweight. And he also probably will build into his frame a bit more, get a bit bigger. So if you stay at featherweight, he's gonna need to bulk up. But he's quick, man. He's got good combos. Miles Johns had a few moments, but ultimately Johns is just a shitty budget version of bantamweight Romero, swinging big meaty hooks and doing a whole lot of nothing. So yeah, Lima dealt with that dude easy. Anyway, let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, we had Miranda Maverick. Who cares? Cake was the only thing that was reasonable to enjoy about this fight. To be honest, it was very nothing. I jumped in Maverick's DMs. I said, tough, good performance. Don't listen to the haters. I'm in the DMs, boys. Trust. Maverick's mid as fuck. But we were talking on stream saying like female MMA has like lowered the standard of like what should be considered a hot woman. Because Maverick's face looks like a dude. She looks like a slightly more feminine Kayla Harrison, but she's got cake, so I can respect it. Anyway, let's move on though to the next fight. Next up, we had Davy Grant, Ramon Tavares. Now, I changed my pick from Davy Grant to Tavares because I was like, I just don't want to pick 38-year-olds. I was thinking about a Cub Swanson pick as well, and I was picking Sean Woodson, and then I was like, okay, well, if I pick all favourites, then everyone's going to be like, classic left lane, picking all favourites. So as soon as I try and be fucking intricate and go, I'll pick the dog of Padilla, he just looks shit. And I picked fucking Tavares because I'm like, Grant's 39 or something, even though I think logically he's way better than Tavares. I went against all logic and just picked Tavares for no reason. But yeah, Grant won cleanly here, looked great. He's just crafty, Grant's crafty. He's another unk on this card that got the win. Him, MJ, Jacobe, Swanson, the Unks were out in full force tonight. So yeah, good win for Grant. Get him on the London card. He's actually still a very good fighter. And then the last fight of the card, who cares? Knutson, whatever, nuts in your mouth, got fucking fraud checked by Rodriguez because she can't stuff takedowns. I've been expecting this to happen for a while, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to pick her to lose to someone like outside the rankings because they all genuinely suck. But no, physicality, and yeah, pick the more masculine looking woman to win, because that was Piera Rodriguez and she won this fight. But anyway, that is the card done. I know it's a late recap. I started recording half an hour after the card finished, and then I had to go somewhere. I had somewhere to be, and then I ended up just delaying it until later because I'm like, I don't want to post it like 9 p.m. Australia time, because that's like 5 a.m. America time, so it would have got like no views. So I just delayed it a little bit of a later recap. But anyway, guys, that'll do it. I'm dropping some videos. We got all the recaps and shit coming for the rest of 2024. Fighter of the year, KO of the year, submission of the year, fight of the year, event of the year. I'm dropping, I reckon the first one will be an event of the year tier list with every single card that's happened this year on a tier list. So yeah, look forward to that one coming probably tomorrow. But anyway, guys, that'll do it. What were your thoughts on the card? And yeah, Joel Alvarez 2025 champ season. Let's go. Peace out, guys. See you in the next one.